So me and a couple of people were watching the SNEAKO versus Moistcr1tikal debate on SNEAKO's views on the world and stuff, or the sequel to the original debate, if you will. Some of you may have seen it, some may not. I'll put the full stream in the description. But long story short, I watched the first time they debated, and it was blatantly clear as day that Charlie just made SNEAKO look like the idiot that he is. However, what they were arguing about was pretty simple, so it wasn't really a hard argument for Charlie to win. And in the sequel, holy shit, you would think it would be a simple conversation again, but between SNEAKO being his usual dumbass self, being obtuse and pedantic on Charlie's wording despite knowing what he means, and Charlie making some really stupid counter arguments to get his point across, this whole debate was like watching two chihuahuas fight over a sausage. Before I get into the main two things that I want to talk about, being Charlie's contradictory stance on trans surgery and, you know, the other stuff, and SNEAKO not understanding why we need an age of consent, why a lot of people agree it is 18 and should be 18, and why the age of consent has changed over time. But before I get into that, for those of you that want to watch it, I'm just going to be playing a couple clips from us watching the stream because they're pretty funny. If you want to skip to the main points that I want to talk about, I'll just leave a timestamp on the screen.
Physically mature, again, it depends on the person.
That's just so, you see why that's such an, I don't know why I don't see why that's such an issue. Like Predators that Chris Hansen sat down with said the same thing.
Right,
this 13-year-old is physically mature.
But you see,
so
this issue, in my worldview, this is eradicated because predators, they only exist in a society that allows the age of consent, that encourages people to have sex out of wedlock. In a society, in a world where you're only supposed to pursue people in search of marriage, that's eradicated. Because these people, these predators, you're saying
no,
that,
not.
Yes it is.
What?
A predatory thing is you're using a girl and you're throwing her away. You're taking advantage of her. You're manipulating her. You're selling her a dream.
Marrying a child. It's the same thing. That's still predatory.
But it's not predatory. It's not predatory if the parents agree to it, they agree to it, and they say, yes, it's okay. Now you're going to take care. You're going to have a happy marriage. That's actually not predatory at all. Pedophiles and predators only exist when you encourage sex out of wedlock. It's not a problem when you encourage marriage.
Wow. How is it not a problem for someone that's in their 20s to be marrying a 14-year-old if everyone consents? How is that not a problem?
What parent is going to let their child be handed off to a predator?
Dude, that's the world you want to live. Oh my fucking god, you're such a dumbass. Holy fuck. You've He thinks it's wrong, yet he doesn't see where Why?
Society does. Under 18. That's minor.
That's not the definition of the word. That's the legal defined thing of adult. It's not even, I don't even know where they legally define that as an adult. They just say that it doesn't even say you're an adult. They just say you can vote at that age, and they say you can, you're saying that's the age of consent even though it's 16 most places. You can vote at 18, but other than that, there's no law that says you're an adult at 18. You've made that up.
It's what everyone in...
What are you talking about? That's the legal age of an adult. That's literally what it's referred to. You are legally an adult at 18 years old.
Most places has agreed upon.
And I've said, we've established a million times, throughout the United States, it's not true. Throughout Europe, that's not true.
Again, those are
you're saying, but what you're saying
exist for the Romeo and Juliet laws.
But what you're saying
societally, it is 18.
No, but what you're saying is objectively wrong. In most places, that's not true. Like, if you look at the map, that is not
like
true.
Japan having the 13-year-old age of consent till they change it. There's plenty of places that don't. I get that. But if someone goes to Japan and fucks a 13-year-old, you're not going to be happy with them, are you?
No, because that's
yeah, exactly.
You're not supposed to do that.
But it's legal there. But it's legal there.
You're missing the point. I don't think that you follow the moral ideas of laws. I've established that as well. You're saying most people agree that it's 18. That is factually wrong.
Most people.
You know what's funny? Let's do this. Let's do this. Why is the legal age of consent 18? The minimum age aims to protect adolescents from abuse, from the consequences they may not be fully aware of when engaging. in early sexual activity. Holy fuck. One Google search and this entire fucking stream is just poof. Wow. Crazy concept. Holy shit.
That people have accepted, and that's 18.
You're not realizing, like, you have to concede to this point. You're saying most people agree it's 18 throughout human history.
I get that.
Oh, why are we going back to this? I don't get it.
Listen, throughout human history and throughout the world that we are currently in, that is factually wrong.
Right, and I do understand that.
Okay, so you cannot. So 18. So why do you believe that it's 18? Because you're saying it's most people, and I just told you that's wrong.
Please answer this correctly. Please.
So why is it 18?
Because it is what we have all, for the most
Oh my fucking god, dude! It's such an easy fucking answer!
Girls who are 18 and vote, they all vote for Joe Biden because they believe Trump's racist, and then they all regret it.
Doug, what the fuck are we talking about right now? Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
4 years later because they get brainwashed and manipulated quickly. And even an 18-year-old woman, she's not even capable, in my opinion, and the Islamic, of being able to consent like that, jump into that, because it should be the father. The father is going to be smarter at guiding her to the right man. Women are emotional thinkers. They're going to see the bad boy with the motorcycle jacket, the guy beating up people, the drug dealer, the big tough alpha guy who's just going to fuck them and dump them. They're attracted to them. If we follow the age of...
He asks why am I misogynistic? Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. I don't know why I physically cannot comprehend how he's this dumb. I don't get it. I really...
Him being alive is plot armor.
It literally is plot armor.
He would not survive this long if he's this stupid.
This man is retroactively changing my standards for media.
You said you get your morals from your personal experiences and the people around you.
Everybody does. That's how everyone formulates.
So your morality is based off the people around you?
You take in all of the information around you. Everyone does. You do. You've taken in so many beliefs of people you've talked to. It changes your perspective on things.
It's funny because he's absolutely right about even people who follow the fucking like Bible or some shit. What they did was they read the Bible, took in that information, and formed their morality around it because they think that's what's right. Like what?
Things. That's how it works.
Changing your perspective is different than morality. Morality is right from
What are you fucking? I can't. No. I actually give up. I don't. What the fuck am I listening to right now, dude? He is the dumbest person on the fucking planet. Like there are stupid fucking people.
Jack Kentner's smarter.
Honestly, Jack Kentner is fucking smarter.
So yeah, morality changes based on what's going on around you and what you've taken in.
So, well, I mean, this is where it's consistent, because self-defense, that doesn't count as murder. Like, yes, it is killing somebody, but it's not the act of murder.
But
right?
killing, to me, is morally bad. But there are times where it's not, like in self-defense.
Of course, that makes sense. But
yeah.
So where else in a scenario where because that's not based off of your personal experiences. That's just something that makes sense, and that's also
it's still based off the things around me, which you seem to have an issue with.
It's not based off of what's around you. That's just that's been consistent throughout history, and even in the Quran it says that like, you're allowed to defend yourself. Like you're supposed to defend.
I'm gonna fucking smash my head into my wall.
It's clips, not mags, and I decide to shoot you. That's a personal decision. Doesn't change the fact that it's wrong.
You've taken it out on me. You've killed me.
Like, what are you talking about?
And from a personal decision.
That's looking at it from a very naive angle.
You said
you didn't make a decision for yourself. You made a decision to kill me.
It's still for myself to feel better.
I mean, I guess
that's still a personal decision. So why is it okay for a kid to cut his dick off?
Yes, sirree. Thought about killing myself.
Show me.
He is very open against race mixing.
Against is not hate. You just change your definition.
It's the same.
No, it's not.
So you can be against. Okay, he disagrees with race mixing, and you think that's okay?
Disagrees. Exactly. I think that's fine.
Why?
Because you can have your opinion as long as it's not hateful If he wants to further hit the white race and all this stuff, if he wants to have nationalistic beliefs, fine, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you stop. Same reason I believe Japanese people should continue to Japan. If you can find a clip where he says hate...
Nick Fuentes said race mixing should be reported to the FBI. That seems a little more...
So now, let me get into the two main parts that I want to talk about. First, let's start with Charlie, since it's really easy to lead into SNEAKO's views and how they both hold contradictory beliefs. So, Charlie believes that it's okay for a minor to be able to consent to going through gender-changing surgeries and treatments that are experimental and don't really have a lot of research in the grand span of time as to what the long-term side effects will be. We do already know of some bad side effects that can arise, even with us having such little research in this, which you can do your own research on if you so care to. But it literally is a mess between companies that do medical malpractice and lie about possible side effects, which is disgusting, the fact that we don't have enough research to ensure safety, the fact that a lot of people that do transition as a kid or even an adult regret it when they get older, and the fact that based on what I have seen, they do have the highest suicide rate out of the entire population. Charlie believes that they can consent to it so long as the parents and doctors agree, right? But when compared to SNEAKO's line of thinking, you see how stupid this really gets. So SNEAKO believes that if a person is physically or mentally mature enough, even though they are at an age where it is virtually impossible, he believes that it is okay so long as the parents and stuff agree. But he simultaneously, and you see it multiple times throughout when he's questions on this, says that it's wrong, for example, a 21 and 14-year-old to be having sex. Now, his justification for this is because the marriage shit and the parents' consent shit. But what he can't seem to comprehend is that there are parents who are just genuinely shit people, so they could put their kid into a predatory marriage either way. And he also can't comprehend why we need to have an age of consent and why most people agree that the age should be 18. And this shouldn't need to be explained, but I'm going to explain this in the simplest way possible. It is to protect kids from people much older and more mature than them from manipulating and or abusing them. The reason that most people agree it's 18 and why there are laws in place for this is because of the studies shown to the government that provide evidence as to why changes to the age of consent are made. Because when you hit 18, you have lived 18 years of life. 99% of people have enough experience in the world and have been educated by experiences and have knowledge on what they are getting into. Yes, I agree, there will be outliers such as like 17-year-olds that are just as mature or physically mature as an 18-year-old, but that is a outlier, a very hard outlier. Just like there will be 19 plus and 18 plus year olds that are less physically mature than someone who might be 17 or 16. But this is the problem we run into when we start using outliers as a justification for you getting into a predatory relationship or marriage or, sexual activity. Because if we don't have a set line, then this is where problems start to arise. People are not Superman. People are not Homelander. They cannot see through your body to tell that you are physically mature enough to consent to things that most people will be able to consent to when they hit 18. Or even mentally mature enough, because they most likely have not known you for a long time. That's what happens in a lot of these cases. So unless we have a line in the sand to draw, then these kinds of problems will arise. Now, Charlie kept going on the side of, oh, well, that's what most people agree with, without actually explaining why it is the case that most people do believe this. SNEAKO kept mentioning shit like, oh, throughout history, blah, 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 without realizing, yes, we as a species are flawed. We grow and evolve through technology and studies.
I don't want to keep reading studies and stuff like that.
A lot of people believe slavery was moral back then, and even around the world, still to this day, people still believe that. Just obviously not to the same extent that it was fucking a long time ago. But are we going to now use that as an argument as to why slavery should be okay as well? And yes, SNEAKO, I agree there are states with the age of consent that is 16. However, like Charlie brought up, you can still get in trouble for that. But here's how these two things connect at the end of the day. SNEAKO cannot simultaneously believe that it's wrong for this to happen outside of marriage because of the predatory aspect of it, but also not only believe that kids can't have the trans treatment, but also that if the parents think it's okay, then it's no longer predatory somehow, because that simply just doesn't work due to the things that I've discussed earlier. And this is for the same reason that Charlie can't simultaneously believe that it's wrong for a child to marry an adult or have a, relationship with an adult, because a child can't consent to marriage even if the parents say it's okay, but then at the same time say it's okay for a minor to go through trans treatment. His defense for why it's not contradictory was because that child is making a personal decision. But what he doesn't realize is that the main reason what he's arguing against is wrong is because a child cannot consent to making those kinds of decisions, so they're both personal decisions at the end of the day. And then SNEAKO, And then SNEAKO stupidly brings up murder, and he was like, oh, well, there's a personal decision involved in murder, right? Without realizing that personal decision affects someone else, you fucking moron. So no, those two things don't contradict each other. Now, with that said, one more thing I would like to point out is how SNEAKO kept being pedantic when Charlie would use the word child or use the word pedo. Yes, I agree those terms are used hyperbolically and not correctly by society in general, but him being obtuse doesn't make him correct, and I've already gone over as to why this is the case. But what's funny is that SNEAKO uses terms like retard or the N-word hyperbolically or incorrectly all the time, and now he wants to play word police with Charlie when it comes to this. Are there correct terms for the things being discussed? Yes. And Charlie mentioned those terms during the debate, but SNEAKO kept being obtuse about this. Because, well, he's an idiot. And I think Charlie did a terrible job in this debate, I'm not gonna lie. While overall, I think Charlie made better arguments than SNEAKO for the most part, I think he completely just fumbled on this debate. There were points where even SNEAKO made him look stupid, and that's just like, if SNEAKO's making you look stupid, that's just a feat. Like, you're not walking away from that one. Sorry, one more thing I would like to add real quick is how SNEAKO said that the age of consent and the age of driving should be the same. Now, I'm not even gonna explain why that's so fucking stupid, because most people understand why it is. But I just had to mention that because holy shit. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. If you enjoyed this, feel free to support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And you will also be able to get early access to the comic I'm working on there as well. My next video will either be about Deadpool and Wolverine or The Boys Season 4, so stay tuned for that. I hope you all enjoyed, and yeah.